Hello and welcome to another Wally Spark review, and that is Wally with an E. I have here my new Accuteck up to 86 pound digital scale. Comes with charging cord, a USB charging adapter. Looks like we have a limited 10-year warranty. Some instructions and packing stuff and a box. So let's get that out of the way. We're going to move all that over because I don't think we have any more use for that at the moment here, except for maybe we'll take a look at how you plug this charging adapter in. And basically it just gets plugged into the power source here, the power supply, and then you have the end that gets plugged into the scale, which is going to be right on the back there and plugs in like so. So you can plug that into power, but also you have on the back a little cover to put 3 AAA batteries in to the unit, so you don't have to use the charging cord. And I've never really had use for a charging cord. Batteries seem to last a long time for as much as I use my scale. All right, so I almost wasn't going to do a video on this because I've seen a bunch of videos out there already for this particular model scale, but I looked at one of them and seen some misinformation, as you would have it, about it. So I thought maybe I will do a video on this and just kind of correct some of the mistakes that I've seen someone else make. And I hold nothing against them. I've made mistakes myself. It happens. But I thought, yeah, well, let's just go ahead and do this video so people can understand exactly how this scale works. Now, I've had another digital scale for over 20 years now that has worked beautifully and still does, but it only goes up to, weighs things up to 5 pounds. And I find myself occasionally needing to weigh things that are over 5 pounds. And when that happens, I usually resort to maybe putting it on my bathroom scale, the package on my bathroom scale, or the item on my bathroom scale, and weighing it that way. But a bathroom scale is just not accurate or easy way to weigh packages. It's just not what it's meant for. So thus I looked around for another scale and found this one, which goes up to 86 pounds, and I don't think I'll really ever have the need to weigh anything that heavy, at least for my shipping purposes anyways. I never ship anything with weight that high, so this should suit all my needs. So let's jump into it. What do some of the buttons do on here? Well, we have 4 buttons basically. We have a power button, and we have a button on the side here which you can press to adjust it to pounds and ounces, or grams. We also have this button here which will zero it out, but it is also what's called a tare weight button. And that was one of the mistakes that I saw in another video. They weren't quite sure what that was. They just thought it was for clearing it out in case when you started it's not actually at 0. You would hit that and it clears it back to 0. So you're starting out at 0 weight. But what they forgot to mention was that is also a tare weight button, which I'll explain what that is in a second here. And the other button, the last one on the side here, is the hold button, and I'll explain what each one of those things do. So obviously power, self-explanatory. The one on the left hand side here is to set it to grams or pounds and ounces, or ounces and pounds. What the tare weight button does is, let's say for instance you want to weigh a particular weight of water in a cup. Well, you don't want to include the cup weight in there, so what we're going to do is set the empty cup on there, and as you can see, it weighs about 0.7 ounces. Well, if we hit this tare weight button, it will eliminate that 0.7 ounces, set the scale to 0, so you're starting out at a 0 weight. And then you can pour your water, or whatever you're using it for, into the cup. And let's say you want about 2 ounces. Well, there you go. So now we know that we have exactly 2.1 ounces of water in that cup without including the weight of the cup. So that's what tare weight is for. Now, if I want to hold that weight in, because I'm going to remove the cup and I don't want to forget what the weight was on there, I would just simply press on the side here the hold button. If I press that, take the cup off, as you see, it holds that numerical value on there, so I can come back and reference that if I needed to. And there's many reasons why you would use the tare weight. That's just one example. Now once I'm done weighing everything, I can hit the clear button or tare weight button and bring it back to 0 and start my next weighing project. One more feature that this scale has is a lid that comes up on this, and I've seen some people struggling with opening this lid up, and it is kind of difficult. You have a little indentation here to get under there and try to lift it up, and it is difficult. I've seen one guy give an example of just pulling the whole tray off, which seems kind of unnecessary, in order to get that open, which is still difficult. There we go. But I'm going to show you a little easier way to do that. I'll turn the scale off here actually. All you really have to do is grab the sides here, and it comes right up, just like that. It's a lot easier. Just a bad design. I don't know why they put the little indentation there to try to pull it up with, because it doesn't work well. So that works perfect if you just grab the sides. And this is a feature that I probably will never have any use for, but let me just show you what the instructions basically show it being used for. As you can see here, they put a ball in there. And I imagine the idea here is that if you're trying to weigh something that, like a ball, that has this potential to roll off, well, you can lift this lid up, put your ball on there, push the lid back down on top of that ball to hold it in place while you're weighing the ball. Again, I don't see a lot of use for this. It's probably overkill. Maybe for some people it might be a nice feature. I don't know if you're weighing marbles or tennis balls or something. I don't know. But that's what it's for. I don't have any use for it personally, but just thought I'd show you that. Okay, so besides that lid, which isn't going to hamper anything for me, a couple things that I don't like about this scale is the buttons on the side. The kilogram to ounces adjustment and the hold button over here. If you're just trying to press that button, the scale actually moves. You almost got to, pretty much hold the scale with the other hand in order to click either one of those buttons, or you got to use 2 fingers and hold the scale and click that button. If you just try clicking it, like I said, it won't click because it's kind of stiff and the scale just keeps moving. So I wish those 2 buttons were on the front here. That would have been a lot nicer, but not a big deal. I can overcome that. And for the price that I paid for this thing, it's not even worth mentioning almost. So that's one thing I don't like about it. The other thing is, this is very minor as well, is these stupid stickers that they put on. Still to this day, they put these stickers on here. This is just a sticker that was on here to tell you to remove the foam padding underneath the scale that's put in there for shipping so it doesn't get damaged. But when you come to remove this sticker, well, that's what you end up with. Now you got all this sticker that has to still be removed, and I'm probably going to have to use some goof off or Goo Gone or whatever. Just a lot of hassle. They have nice stickers that don't do that, and I don't understand why all manufacturers just don't convert to those types of stickers it can ruin the whole experience with the product when you have to spend 15 minutes trying to get that gooey sticker off of something. And you know, if I put some Goo Gone on here, this is kind of like a rubbery surface, and I hope I don't, you know, scratch it or melt it even, you know, trying to get that sticker off. It's for a couple cents more, they could just use a better sticker and you'd be done with it. So that's pretty much my 2 complaints right there. Now, what else I wanted to say is that the surface area is not that much, but I bought this type of scale because I didn't want a big scale. They have the nicer scales that are about the size of a typical bathroom scale with the readout coming off of it on a cord or wire that you can set aside, which comes in handy when you're sticking a big box on there and you can't see the screen. Well, you would just have the portable, so to speak, digital readout over to the side. And those are nice, but they're a lot bigger. Like I said, about the size of a bathroom scale, and I didn't want a big scale like that. I'd store this on a shelf that just wouldn't be big enough to hold a full-size bathroom type scale. So I wanted the smaller scale. It's kind of ironic, I guess, that this thing can go up to 86 pounds, because anything that you're putting on here that would be that heavy would probably be a big box or something. So what will happen then is the box may cover up the digital readout here, so it's going to be a little hard to see that. And also, putting a bigger box on a smaller surface area like this may be kind of difficult. One way to get around that, I'll show you. We're going to turn the scale on here. Is to take something like what I have here, my nice cutting board, and putting it on top there. And I'm just going to show you. I'm going to set this back a little bit, but as you can see, we're covering up the digital screen, and that might happen. So what you can, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to set this back a little bit so we can see the digital screen for what I'm going to show you next. Now, if I used that cutting board so I have more volume to set a bigger box on, obviously I don't want to include the cutting board weight. So I would hit that tare weight button, zeroes it out, and now I can take a big box and set it on top. Let me zoom out here a little bit for you. So I can set a bigger box on top of this now, and it will hold it just fine. And then if I still can't see the scale, for instance, the digital readout, I can at least slip my finger under the side here. Let's just put something on top here. We'll put the water up there. And hit my hold button over to the right. And then when I take everything off, I will see that theoretically that box weighed 5.2 ounces. So that's one way to get a little more surface area for bigger boxes and be able to use the scale for bigger boxes. Just a little trick that I learned years ago. So there you have it. I hope I've explained the proper way to use this scale and cleared up some of the misunderstandings of how these buttons work on it. It's a nice scale, and for the price that I paid for it, even if this thing only lasted a year, well, it's for what I paid for it, it's worth the money. And I'm sure this thing is going to last many, many years. Other than that, yeah, I recommend this scale. If you can overcome some of the cons that I showed you, it's worth buying. I will leave a link in the description of where you can buy one of these. And always, as always, we hope you do subscribe to our channel. We do appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about this, feel free to leave those as well. Thank you.